All right, so this is the dividing part of the the dividing part. So we're going to do example letter C on the dividing rational expressions right here on notes number 2. So, wow, look at everything just moving around there. So what is the first step when we're doing the division on the rational expressions? Factor, right. Oh, look at this one. It's written really funny, but that's actually just division. You see that thick bar in the middle? A thick one? That's the division sign. That's the division sign. So we're going to rewrite this as a normal, using a normal division sign this. So we're going to factor first, as you said. So right here, x squared minus 1. What does that factor to? Right. Okay, next we're going to factor out the x squared minus 9. What does that factor out to? Right, x plus 3, x minus 3. Then look, we got the division bar, so that's a dividing sign, so we write divided by. And now we're going to factor out the second fraction. X squared plus 3x minus 4 factors out to?
X plus 4 and x minus 1.
Right, x plus 4, x minus 1. And if you don't know this, you can use the x box to actually find it. And then lastly, this x squared plus 8x plus 15 would factor out to? Right, x plus 5 times x plus 3. Good. So that's the first step when we're dividing these rational expressions. We just rewrite it exactly as it was, but in factored out form. Okay, what's the step after this? Right, find the undefined values of x. That's setting all the factors in the denominator across both expressions equal to 0 and solving. So what are my undefined values of x here? -3, 3, and -5, right. There we go. So that's what we have so far. Okay, now what is the next step then? Right, we flip the second equation and then do what? And multiply, right. So my new equation should say what? Okay. X plus 1 times x minus 1 over? Right? And then what comes after this? You know what comes before just writing random numbers? Times, right? Times and then? Right, x plus 5 times x minus 3. We're just flipping the second fraction now over? Right, there we go. Okay, so once I've rewritten my fraction, my division as a multiplication problem by flipping the second fraction, what do I do now? Find the new values of x which would make this expression undefined, which would be? -4 and 1. Right, that comes from these new denominator terms that are right here. All right, good. And then my last step is to do what? Right, cancel out common terms on the top and the bottom. So what are those terms I can cancel out? X minus 1, x plus 3, and that looks like that's it. So we're left with what? All right, you didn't really specify where any of those go, but you know it'll be like this. All right, and that's almost the full answer, but what do I need to do to get my final answer? Yeah, I got to FOIL. Oh, it's not scrolling. There we go. So if I FOIL these out, do you know what I would get? Right? Plus 6x. Plus 5 over x squared plus x minus 12. And that would be your final answer.